A Harvard MBA is among the most coveted, but maybe not anymore. 23% of Harvard students were jobless 3 months after graduating.
Stanford University, New York University also reported disappointing employment outcomes last year. And it begs the question, is it the current job market, or could this be a sign of some deeper issues within these prestigious institutions?
So the path to leadership should not be MBA business school situation. They're kind of like just not aware of what's really needed for to make great products.
Thousands of ambitious Indians are stuck on the same question. Should I do an MBA or start a company? And the truth is, 95% of them are making the wrong choice. Here's why. MBA programs are designed, almost engineered to turn potential founders into corporate employees. And they do the job perfectly. While you're paying $250,000 or 2.15 crores and giving away 2 years of your life memorizing outdated case studies from the 90s, 18 to 19-year-old college dropouts today are out there building billion-dollar companies. Hi there and welcome to Americanomics. I'm your host Akash Bhatt and I'm extremely thrilled to share that we are now part of the 01 network by Zerodha. Think about that for a minute. An MBA isn't just about the tuition or the living expenses. It's also the income that you don't earn for 2 years. All in, you're looking at about $250,000 to $275,000 in investment. And that's just not tuition, that's startup capital. With that much amount of money, you could run a lean startup experiment for up to 2 to 3 years. You could fail at 2 to 3 different ideas and still have some money left behind. You'd be learning from real customers, real markets, real failures, and even if you failed every single time, you'd still walk away with something that's far more valuable than just a piece of paper, actual startup experience. Because here's the truth that nobody tells you. No classroom can teach you what it feels like when a customer rejects your product, or how long it would really take to build software, or the emotional roller coaster that comes with entrepreneurship. And I have lived through all of those experiences, and I can tell you that every time I would choose the startup route. And here's the reality. MBA graduates today are also struggling. At Harvard Business School, there was an unemployment rate of 23% for the class of 2024. And for Stanford, it stood at 22%, and Wharton at 20%. Even MIT Sloan had 15% unemployed, nearly 4 times higher than just a couple of years ago. There are people who paid $250,000 plus for credentials and never walked away with even a job. Meanwhile, the startup world tells a completely different story. Founders who have already built something, even if they've failed, are 30% more likely to succeed the next time. Startup founders want people with scars, not just slides. They are hiring people who have actually built something, shipped something, sold, and even survived. Not those who really can just recite case studies or put together PowerPoint presentations. So why does business school fail founders? First of all, it trains you how to operate, not to build. You'll spend months perfecting marketing plans for hypothetical companies, when in the real world, a startup has days, sometimes just hours to test an idea and get some feedback. In my opinion, done is always better than perfect. But most MBAs are taught to plan endlessly before shipping anything. And by the time they launch, the market has actually moved on. Secondly, most MBA founders make the same mistake. They think their big idea just needs an engineer to build it. But if you actually go out there and speak to people and you evaluate the technical work, but you truly don't understand what's possible or how long things really take, then you're completely lost. And here's the brutal truth. Great engineers don't want to work for non-technical founders. They'd rather build their own company than follow somebody with just PowerPoint slides. And again, this is from speaking from experience. Third, MBA programs make you optimize for the wrong set of skills. Early stage startups don't need case competitions or polished financial models. What they really need are builders. Somebody who can code, somebody who can sell, somebody who can market creatively. The rest, operations, spreadsheets, structure, process, HR, all of that comes with an MBA can be taught. And the opportunity cost is massive. While you're stuck in classrooms learning outdated models and case studies, networking with future consultants, your competition is out there launching real products. They're raising capital. They're building customer bases and audiences and learning skills that compound for decades. So at this point, you might probably ask me, Akash, what's the alternative? Now, instead of paying for an MBA, spend up to a year learning how to build. Maybe code, learn design, launch smaller projects, get some feedback, start a side hustle, and a year or two, use those projects to attract a co-founder, launch your first real product, get your first real set of customers, and maybe even apply for an accelerator like Y Combinator. And what's the cost in all of this? The network, maybe even a real business that comes out of it. Now, I know what the counter argument here would be, but what about the network, the credibility? Well, here's the truth. In the startup world, you create your own networks. Y Combinator, founder communities, Twitter, Slack groups, these are all infinitely more valuable when you're building a startup than having just business school alumni. And here's a brutal truth I'll tell you from my own experience building and selling products for my own company. Your customers don't truly care about your degree. They only care if your product solves their problems. And your investors, well, sure, the first meeting can be achieved because of your fancy MBA, but what really matters is what is in the proof of the pudding in terms of what you're building. Well, at this point of time, you might probably ask me this question, and I've asked this question to myself as well. Is there ever a situation where an MBA would make sense? Well, of course it would. If you want to climb up the corporate ladder or work in consulting or switch careers into investment banking or alike, then absolutely an MBA makes sense. But if your dream is to build a startup, a $1 billion one, well, business school might perhaps be the wrong place for you to spend time in. Because what actually predicts startup success is not an MBA, it's your technical ability, especially if you're building a tech startup. Your obsession with customers, the speed of execution, your resourcefulness, and how fast you can learn from the feedback that you're receiving from the market. Now, all of this only comes from building, and none of this comes from being in class, reading case studies. So here's your decision framework if I were you. If you want to structure stability and a clear path to big corp or big tech, well, do an MBA. But if you want to build something new, take on risk, and embrace uncertainty, skip it completely and start building right now. Because the bottom line is simple. MBA programs create good managers. Startups need builders. And while MBA grads are still debating case studies, builders are out there changing the world. Think about doing an MBA twice before you actually take that plunge, especially if you want to be a founder. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. This is Americanomics. This is a channel where we choose building over studying, creating over analyzing, and most importantly, action over planning. If you like this video or all the other ones that we've brought you so far, then subscribe to our channel. And if you're ready to build something that truly matters, drop a comment about your biggest fear when it comes to skipping the MBA. I will try and answer as many questions as possible, and most importantly, I will see you in the next video, so make sure you tune back in again.